Hello, Algebra 2. Today we're going to look at complex numbers. We did look at complex numbers a bit last week where we saw the square root of a negative number giving us an I, a complex number. Today you're going to add, subtract, and multiply complex numbers. And before we get into the complex number, adding, subtracting, and multiplying, I want us to kind of think back to what we know about real numbers. So where have we seen this math in the past? And so I picked out two problems here. They both have x as a variable we're very used to seeing. And I'm going to simplify those. So when we see a value in front of a parenthesis or after a parenthesis, we employ, of course, the distributive property. So that's what we're going to do here. And when we employ the distributive property, we'd have 9x minus 30. Again, this is something we've seen in our math past, nothing earth-shattering or new here. Let's go ahead and move to this problem. This problem, we have 4 times the quantity x minus 1 minus the quantity x plus 6. So in order to simplify this, again, I'm employing that distributive property, 4x minus 1, and we are subtracting this entire expression. So we are subtracting x, and we are also subtracting positive 6. If it helps you to look at this as distributing a negative 1, certainly you could to make sure that you change both of those signs. So often the error we see is that we forget to change signs here. All right, and then we combine our like terms. Our like terms are 4x and negative x. Those combine to give us 3x. And our other like terms are negative 1 and negative 6. Those combine to give us negative 7. If you recall how to do this, you're going to make it through this lesson and the assignment that follows quite easily because we're going to employ the same number rules when we move to do complex number algebra in today's lesson. All right, so little review. We did look at this last week. I is the square root of negative 1. And if we ever have I squared, that would output a negative 1. So again, this is kind of a review of what we looked at last week when we started solving by square roots. And so if we wanted to simplify and find the square root of each of these numbers, the square root of 25 is the same as the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 25, which would give us 5i. And the square root of negative 72. Well, negative 72 is not, or 72 rather, is not a perfect square, but it does have a perfect square of 36, and 36 times 2 is 72. So we can simplify this. This would give us an I. The square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 2 is not perfect. Now, as far as our assessments, we are not requiring you to do this simplifying of the square roots outside of I. So as far as your test for this unit, if you gave me the square root of 72, I would accept that. However, it's not most simplified. So as far as our test, we're not requiring that you go ahead and simplify all of those radicals, but this would be most simplified. So that's what I'm going to write. One more example here, negative 5. The square root of negative 9 would give us the same thing as the square root of 9 times the square root of negative 1. And that will give us negative 5. The square root of 9 is 3. And the square root of negative 1 is I. And we simplify that to negative 15i. Again, examples similar to what we looked at last week when we solved using square roots and we saw I come in our first problem. So let's go ahead and look at a few other problems here. We're going to add, subtract, depending on what sign we see. And we're going to treat these just like any other variable relationship we've seen in the past. The same math laws will apply, except we're getting a complex number as our final answer instead of a real number. All right, so when we are adding, keep in mind we always combine like terms. So our like terms here are 8 and 5. Those combine and give us 13. And our like terms that are the complex part of this number, negative 1i and 4i, will give us a total of 3i. And that is as simplified as it's going to get because those two are not like terms. This is the complex part. This is the real part of this complex number, or the imaginary part and the complex part. So we're not going to combine those, just like we couldn't combine something that looked like 13 plus 3x. We can't combine that with mathematically sound steps. So we aren't going to combine this either. All right, let's look at another one here. We're going to subtract. So we're going to make sure that we apply that correctly. And in order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rewrite this problem. And I'd encourage you to do the same to limit your errors. And I'm going to subtract each part of that binomial that follows the subtraction. So this will be minus 3 and minus negative 6i. Well, this we can simplify. Minus negative 6i, the opposite of subtract is add. So this will then become plus 6i. And now we can, without the propensity for errors, hopefully, combine those like terms. 7 minus 3 is 4. And negative 6i plus 6i, well, that's 0i. If there's 0 of something, I don't need it written with my 4. Let's go ahead and look at multiplication. So here we've got 4i times negative 6 plus I. So again, distributive property here. And when we distribute, we have negative 24i plus 4i squared. Now, I'm going to stop for a moment and bring you back to one of the first slides we saw. One of the first slides we saw shows us that I squared is negative 1. Well, why is that true? Let me go ahead and show you. If I square this side and this side, we see that the square root and square are both occurring on this negative 1. Since those are inverses of one another, they take care of one another, or they are gone because we've now taken care of the inverse of square root is square, and we have just negative 1. So anytime we have I squared, that will always equal negative 1, because the square root of negative 1 times the square root of negative 1 would be negative 1. So I am going to simplify this, keeping that in mind. So where we have I squared, we know that that equals negative 1. And that can simplify further. Negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. So negative 24i minus 4. Now, oftentimes we write the real part and then the imaginary. I will accept either one of these, but this is what we will most often see. All right, one more. Here we have binomial multiplication. So you have options in your math past. You may have used a box method. And if that works for you, certainly you can use that box method and multiply those binomials. You can also use the distributive property twice. So multiplying 9 times negative 4, 9 times 7i. And multiplying negative 2i times negative 4. That should be positive 8. And negative 2i times 7i. Or box method, whatever works for you, right? Whatever you used in your math past that brought you success, that's how you're going to multiply these binomials as well. And then we can combine our like terms. We've got negative 36 plus 71i minus 14i squared. All right, what can we do here? Go ahead and try to simplify this one step further, looking back at this example to help you. All right, hopefully we notice that that can simplify as it did here. I squared is negative 1. And therefore, we've got negative 36 plus 71i plus 14. And we can, of course, combine those like terms. So we've got negative 22 plus 71i. On your assignment today, you're going to do some similar algebra with complex numbers. And if you need to, go back and look at these examples. There are more in the textbook as well to help you out. Good luck.